Good Omens 2 will be once more unto the breach.
The kind of world that Neil and Terry Pratchett created here, it seems to be expanding out into the world in all kinds of unexpected and truly joyful ways.
If season 1 was a comedy about the end of the world, season 2 is a comedy about the beginning of everything else.
The bromance is continuing.
What a cast, is all I can say. Incredible, incredible cast.
But of course, a script on Good Omens is a whole different thing, because anything can happen.
There's always a smirk somewhere around the corner in a Good Omens script.
I had no idea what to expect, where this character was going to go.
I feel quite honoured that when they were thinking of the realms of sarcasm, they thought of me.
7-year-old me is like, oh my God, this is the stuff of dreams.
A whole fantastical universe of joy that we just get to play in and you'll get to watch.
I am immeasurably excited.
You know, I was very pleased when I was brought back to be a part of that story. People are excited, and I'm working so hard to tell them absolutely nothing. I'm very lucky because Michael Sheen and David Tennant love Crowley and Aziraphale. I think the first moment that I saw David and Michael acting together, all of a sudden there was Crowley and there was Aziraphale. It was like seeing two friends who I hadn't seen for years.
There's something about the way Neil sees the mundane that is extraordinary, and there's something about the way things filter through his imagination. And of course, in this world, it's also sprinkled with the imagination of Terry Pratchett, and those two together created this cocktail that is, it's unlike anything you've seen anywhere else, and yet it feels utterly familiar.
And they both have a sense of the absurdity of what it is to be a human.
When you've got David and Michael in front of the camera, David and Michael evaporate, and you have Crowley and Aziraphale. And that relationship, it needed interrogating more. And of course, we all know that Terry and Neil had conversations about what the sequel would be. And Neil has taken that and he's blown it up in a way that the viewers are just going to love. So what would Terry think? Terry would pat Neil on the back and he would push Good Omens forward. He would break a bottle of champagne over its bows and be absolutely delighted. And I know that. I'm the one person on earth who's been entrusted to know that for certain. And I promise you, Terry would be absolutely delighted.
We've got some cast members coming back, returning but playing different parts, which is a lovely little addition to things, isn't it? So Miranda Richardson is back not playing the same role as season 1. She's now Shax, my replacement, Crowley's replacement on Earth.
Shelley Conn came in as Beelzebub, and it feels in a weird way kind of like a Doctor Who regeneration. We have a new demon called Furfur, played by Reece Shearsmith, who was our Shakespeare in season 1.
Nina and Maggie were two of the sisters in season 1, the Nunnery of Doom, and now they are two characters imaginatively called Nina and Maggie.
In season 1, really, it was just me and the nuns. It was the nun gang. So to actually get to meet Aziraphale and Crowley, I hadn't been prepared for how delightful Aziraphale is.
Season 2 begins about 3-4 years after the events of season 1.
Aziraphale and Crowley now are, you know, out on their own. They're a team to themselves.
Everything changes when Aziraphale gets an unexpected visitor.
A familiar face comes along with a mystery that needs solving. And as Aziraphale and Crowley attempt to solve that mystery, they realize that there are much more terrifying things ahead than they've had to deal with in the past. That involves having to go back through history as well to get clues as to what might be going on.
When we go back into these stories set within Aziraphale and Crowley's personal history, there are moments within those stories where their relationship sort of pivots or develops in some way. Himself and Aziraphale, I think, rely on each other even more in season 2 than they did in season 1, because they are, by necessity and by circumstance, they're a double act that nobody else can join.
It's extraordinary to see how important these characters and this story have become to a lot of people, and how much people enjoy expressing themselves through art, through fan fiction.
I went to a Comic-Con, and the amount of Crowleys and Aziraphales that I saw everywhere, the cosplaying just took off, and always in twos, which was joyous because, of course, the characters in my mind, only exist in relation to each other. They are the yin and the yang.
It's such a, I think it's such a compliment, and I think Neil feels the same way as well.
Oh, he's clever, Neil Gaiman, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd have to sort of admit that at some point. I mean, he's quite clever.
Quite good at his job.
Yeah.